A very good morning, students. Today we are going to start with the next unit of your first book, that is Money and Banking. So I will do the estimation and measurement of the national income which is left behind in your first unit at the last. So therefore today I have started with your next unit from which the first topic is money. So before starting with the topic, you must be very much clear with the concept that what is money. So money is anything that is generally acceptable as a medium of exchange. Therefore, money refers to anything which is taken as a medium of exchange or in the buying or selling of certain commodities which is generally accepted. For example, you are going to the market to purchase a pair of shoes. For purchasing the pair of shoes, you need to pay something in return of that to the shopkeeper. What you will pay? You will pay rupees for that, which is a medium of exchange accepted in India. Therefore, a rupee is a money in India. On the other hand, in USA you can say that dollar is a common medium of exchange taken for exchanging the various commodities. Similarly, in the various countries, various kinds of currencies are there which are taken as money for those countries. But before the evolution of money, goods were exchanged for goods. You must have learned in your history also that in the previous times or in the ancient times, people doesn't used to have the money as a medium of exchange. What they used to do, they used to exchange the certain commodities or certain goods for goods, which is known as the barter system of exchange or C to C economy, which means that commodity to commodity economy. Now what is that system or how this system used to operate in the ancient times? Firstly, you must be clear with this concept. Economic changes without the mediation of money is called barter exchange, which means that when money was not taken as the medium of exchange, in that case any economic change which used to occur without money was known as the barter exchange, in which various commodities were exchanged for commodities. For example, you are a coconut seller and you need a pair of shoes. In that time I am saying when barter system was operating in the ancient times. So in that case, suppose I am a coconut seller and I need a pair of shoes. What will I do? I will move towards a shoe seller and will tell him to give me a pair of shoes, and in return of that I will give a coconut to that seller. So what is that? That is barter system of exchange. Similarly, if any labor is doing work on a farmland of a certain landlord, what landlord used to do? He will not pay him money, he will give some grains to him in return of the services given by him. So that was the barter system. You can take another example, like a person who is in need of sugar will exchange the sugar with the person who is in need of apples. So what that system is known as? That system is known as barter system or commodity economy, which is also known as CC economy. But if you think of that situation in the present time, is that possible for you to do such kind of exchange? Definitely not. That kind of system was not an accurate system of exchange, because of which we need some medium of exchange for the trading of certain commodities. And therefore some drawbacks were noticed of the barter system of exchange, which are, now these are the some drawbacks or limitations of the barter system of exchange, because of which the evolution of money was the requirement of that time. The first drawback is lack of double coincidence of wants. Now what do you mean by double coincidence of wants? Basically this means that the two individuals who want to exchange certain commodities must be in need of those commodities or must want that commodity. Or you can also say that double coincidence of wants means that at a single point of time, the two individuals who are having such goods which they are willing to exchange for the satisfaction of their wants, that is known as the double coincidence of wants. Let's take an example. For example, I need to buy some clothes for myself. Clear? So firstly, in that kind of system, that is in barter system of exchange, I would look for the person who will give me clothes and in return will need the commodity which I will be having in surplus. For example, I am having the surplus of the wheats produced with me. So for buying the certain clothes, I would give the surplus wheat grains to the individual from which I will buy my clothes. So I will go in search of the person who will provide me the clothes and will in return want the wheat for me. Sorry, for himself. So therefore there must be double coincidence of wants, which is not possible every time. Therefore, it is a drawback of the barter system of exchange. But if we talk nowadays, if we want to purchase some clothes, what we will do? We will go to a cloth merchant and will provide him with some money in return of the clothes which we will buy. Therefore, this drawback was covered up by the evolution of money. The next drawback of the barter system of exchange or the commodity exchange is the lack of divisibility. Now, in the commodity exchange, there was difficulty in dividing the certain commodities. Now, for example, if a cow is to be exchanged for 4 horses, clear? But the owner of the cow may require only 2 horses. Then what can we do? Then is the exchange possible? No. Then the exchange cannot take place because the cows cannot be divided for the exchange of 2 horses only. So therefore there was lack of divisibility in the barter system of exchange, which was covered up with the evolution of money, as we can divide the money in various denominations like that of rupee 50 notes, like rupee 100 notes, rupees 500 notes, rupee 2000 notes. So this drawback was covered with the evolution of money, which was not possible in the barter system of exchange because we can't divide certain commodities into various parts. Like if we talk about the animals, if we want to exchange the animals in return of certain commodity, so this was also one of the drawback of this system. Now next drawback comes is the lack of store of value. Now for example, in the barter system of exchange, we used to exchange certain commodities. Now if I am an apple seller, will I be able to store some apples for a long period of time if I am not able to sell them? No, it's not possible because that is a perishable item and that may become rotten after some time. But with the evolution of money, we can store the value, that is, we can store some money for our future use, which we also say as savings. But we can't do savings in the barter system of exchange because those commodities may get rotten with the time. If we talk about the animals too, if we are exchanging some animals which we are having with the other commodities, those animals may become sick with the time, may lead to certain diseases, they may die with the time. Therefore this was the drawback of barter system of exchange, that is, there was lack of store of value, which was overcome by the evolution of money. The next drawback of barter system of exchange was lack of common unit of or measure of value, which means that in the barter system of exchange we were not able to value any commodity because there was no common unit of value. For example, I want to know the value of the apples which I was selling. Would I be able to know the value? No, because there was no such medium of exchange like money, or there was no common unit of value on the basis of which we can know the value of certain commodities. But if we talk about the present time, if someone asks me about the value of the clothes I would be wearing, that will be very much easy for me to answer. Like suppose it is of rupees 2000, so that is I am having a common unit of value which I can assign to the certain commodities I am having. The next drawback of barter system of exchange was the lack of standard for deferred payments. Now what are deferred payments? Deferred payments basically refers to the future payments or the contractual payments. Now, if we talk about the barter system of exchange, as we know, there must be double coincidence of wants. Otherwise, the exchange was not possible at that time. For example, if I am going to a shoe seller for buying certain shoes and I will say to him that I will pay you after some time, you please provide me with a pair of shoes. Will he agree to that? No, he will not. He will say that I also need some wheat grains. Firstly, assign me those wheat grains. After that, I will be able to sell you the pair of shoes. So, which means that there was no standard for deferred payments. We can't make future payments. We have to exchange the commodities at a single point of time. There was no such facility available, that of the credit or the contractual payments. But if we talk about the present situation with the evolution of money, we are able to do the contractual payments. For example, as an employer, I am hiring an employee and have made a contract with him that I will pay you rupees 20,000 per month for working for me or for giving your service. So what is that? That is the contract which is made between an employer and an employee. An employer promises to pay the employee a certain sum of money at the end of the month. So this kind of payments are possible in case of the present situation, that is with the evolution of the money or by taking money as a medium of exchange. But these kind of payments were not possible in case of barter system of exchange. So at that time, what we would use to do, what we will say that you provide me the services and I will provide you the rice or wheat in return of that. So that therefore there was lack of standard for deferred payments. And the last drawback of the barter system of exchange is that there was lack of transfer of value, which means that at that time we were not able to transfer our commodities to another individual. At that time, if we would like to transfer some value, we would have to transfer the goods from one place to another, which would not be an easy task for us to transfer such kind of heavy commodities. So with the evolution of money, it became possible to transfer the money, as now we can transfer the sum of money from one bank account to another with the help of electronic medium of banking transactions. So these are all the benefits which were provided to us with the evolution of money, and these were the drawbacks of the barter system of exchange, which became the reason for the evolution of money, and which also explains some of the functions of money, that how money is helpful to us in the various exchange system or in the trade of certain commodities in an economy.